it's not like, you know, we've got to be clear about it tomorrow, Gareth. It's not like going to Old Trafford. It's much harder.
Yeah, Brighton are a good side, good manager, and I think
such a class that
loving the needle. They were shite last week, and we drove the train to them. Should have been more. Brighton, though, I've only conceded 9 all season, and 4 of them was the City. And I've been writing the preview today for the site, and so looking at Brighton, but we're also thinking about the past as well. And I think this is their 5th season in the Premier League now. They've won 9 games in each of the 4 seasons before, and that's been enough to stay up. They won 4 already this season, and they won at Brentford. They beat Leicester.
Yeah,
they're a decent side. And I quite like them in every way, as a club, as a place to go. The manager's likeable. There's some good players there. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want us to absolutely twat them tomorrow.
Yeah.
But sort of, I like the story, and to get a bit more on the story, because I'm not going to completely talk through it again, do read me preview, because Brighton's story is mad. On that, by the way, I don't want to railroad whatever you're about to talk to next, but do you think, or does anyone think, the way we consume footy now is a bit mad? Because when most of us, I think, around here are old enough to remember sort of consuming footy in a totally different way. And I, for instance, used to read the Pink Echo back to front, read all the papers, look at all the league tables, had me league ladders, and I just knew more about what was going on elsewhere. And I think it's dead easy now to end up in a Liverpool bubble and not know about what's going on everywhere else.
It's like an echo chamber on social media.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it's like a healthy thing. Like today, when I reminded myself of Brighton's story and where they were and where they've arrived, it was quite heartening. Like I say, I still want to twat them, but I just think it's a nice football story, and I'm not sure like we're all aware of nice football stories as much as we were once upon a time. Do you know what I mean?
It's interesting that because you're right. Because again, without sounding like an old fart,
there's nothing wrong with an old fart.
The prominence of what Liverpool do, because of the audience and the number of clicks it generates, gets prominence. Do you know what I mean? Dive into Evertonianism very, very briefly, as is my want.
You are our correspondent.
They were flipping out online on the other day because Liverpool were the chosen game in the League Cup. It's none of their business, by the way. But exactly, none of their business.
It's a shame because the draws opened up nicely for them.
Yeah.
But they just couldn't get themselves past the idea that Liverpool are probably the biggest draw in European football at the moment in terms of to watch. And so the fact that whoever they're playing on Wednesday night is more interesting than any other average, even Man City's game, all Premier League tie, Liverpool's game is more interesting almost in any circumstances because of who we are and what we are and the audience that we generate. It's just a simple fact, and because of that, we get prominence, we get exposure. And you're right, Gareth, I think you have to seek out content, because probably back in the days where it wasn't driven by clicks, Shoot magazine would give equal prominence to clubs like
great magazine.
The Topical Times, remember that, the Topical Times Football Annual, all that stuff would give equal prominence to all teams. They wouldn't be driven by what's going to sell more copies or or not to the extent it is now. And I think you're right, those type of stories, unless they're hyper romantic, get pushed down the page, and you have to really, really seek them out. I think it's a good point. But like looking at Brighton, I think they are a team that you can get on board with. Like Potter, the best Potter we know apart from Steve Graves, would you say?
Tremendous.
Yeah, but I think they'll turn up and they'll give us a game in which those Milltown scruffs fail to at the weekend.
There's stuff like the D3, D4 podcast, Stu, that does tell that sort of stuff. But as Gareth's saying, it's tougher to seek out. When you think about sort of all magazines and magazine-y style stuff, like, recently, I don't know if we talked about it very much really, but, Greavesy dies of Saint and Greavesy fame. And they go all over the country on a Saturday at 12:30 and tell you stories from all over the place. And it is a bit of a shame.
It's still got 40 focus, but I don't feel like that many people watch it. Because it often clashes with the first game of the weekend.
Absolutely does, yeah.
And like, they still produce good stuff, though. They tell some of the Greavesy type stuff. They tell some of the match shoot type stuff. But how many people are tuning in for it when they know that there's a Premier League game on over here?
Tomorrow it's Leicester Arsenal. Yeah. So what are you going to watch? Leicester Arsenal live footy or a thing? And that's, I think you've got it's nice to seek that stuff out, I think, from time to time. But it's how, and let's be honest about this, a lot of what Gareth's talking about here is Gareth, me, John, you, at the age of 9, consuming and reading every last word. Where did the 9-year-olds find it? That's what I want to know. And you are a teacher.
Yeah. 9-year-old us, I probably had 3 TV channels. No,
yeah, of course, that's the thing. That's the point.
No internet to distract us, and like really, really boring lives.
Yeah, no, really, really boring lives, but therefore had an unbelievable knowledge of what Queen of the South were up to.
To get full access to this show, click on the link in the post and subscribe to Talk Premium. You get all of our content, including previews, reviews, post-match content, exclusive interviews and loads of transfer chats. So subscribe to the Anfield Wrap now. We share the journey of supporting Liverpool from heart of the city.